Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most beloved films of all time, The Shawshank Redemption. The Shawshank Redemption is based on a novel by Stephen King, titled Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption. It's directed by Frank Darabont and stars Tim Robbins as Andy Dufresne and Morgan Freeman as Red. The film is set mostly in Shawshank State Prison, a bleak and oppressive place where the story of friendship and perseverance unfolds. Let's talk about the plot. The movie begins with Andy Dufresne, a banker, being convicted for the murder of his wife and her lover. Despite pleading innocent, the evidence is stacked against him, and he's sentenced to 2 life terms at Shawshank Prison. From the get-go, you can tell this isn't going to be your typical prison story, it's much deeper than that. When Andy arrives at Shawshank, he's quiet and reserved. He doesn't fit the stereotypical image of a hardened criminal, and that makes him stand out. This is where he meets Red, played by Morgan Freeman. Red is the prison's man, who can get things, a smuggler who helps inmates acquire contraband. He's also the film's narrator, and his voice sets the tone for much of the story. Early on, Andy asks Red for a rock hammer, a small tool he claims he'll use to carve chess pieces and polish rocks. This tiny request seems harmless at first, but as the story progresses, it becomes much more significant. Andy also asks for posters of famous actresses like Rita Hayworth, again, something that seems trivial at first but holds deeper meaning. Over time, Andy and Red form a deep friendship. Andy's intelligence and calm demeanor earn him respect, but life in Shawshank is far from easy. He endures brutal assaults by a gang called the Sisters, and the grim routine of prison life threatens to crush his spirit. But Andy is different. He refuses to let Shawshank define him. Here's where Andy's background as a banker comes into play. He starts helping the prison staff with their finances, creating a network of tax scams and money laundering schemes for Warden Norton, a corrupt and hypocritical man who uses religion to justify his actions. This new role gives Andy certain privileges, but it also ties him deeper into Shawshank's corruption. Andy doesn't just focus on himself, though. One of the most inspiring parts of the movie is his effort to improve life for the other inmates. He transforms the prison library into a thriving resource center and helps many prisoners earn their high school diplomas. Through these acts, Andy spreads hope, which is a recurring theme throughout the film. Enter Tommy, a young inmate who befriends Andy. Tommy shares a shocking piece of information. Another prisoner once bragged about committing the murders Andy was convicted of. This revelation could exonerate Andy, but Warden Norton has other plans. Fearing that Andy's release would expose his corrupt operations, the warden has Tommy killed and ensures Andy remains trapped in Shawshank. But Andy isn't the kind of man to give up. After decades of careful planning, he uses the tiny rock hammer, remember that, to dig a tunnel through the prison wall. For nearly 20 years, Andy chipped away at the wall, hiding his progress behind the posters of actresses like Rita Hayworth. His escape is one of the most iconic moments in film history. He crawls through a sewer pipe to freedom, symbolizing his journey from despair to redemption. Andy doesn't just escape, he outsmarts everyone. Before leaving, he sends evidence of the warden's corruption to the authorities. Warden Norton is exposed and, unable to face justice, takes his own life. Meanwhile, Andy reinvents himself as Randall Stevens, a fictional identity he created to hide the money he laundered for the warden. Talk about a genius plan. After Andy's escape, life at Shawshank continues, but things are different. Red, who had always been skeptical of hope, starts to believe in it. He's eventually granted parole after serving 40 years. Following Andy's advice, Red finds a hidden letter in a field, where Andy had told him to look. The letter invites Red to join him in Mexico, where Andy is rebuilding his life. The movie ends with Red and Andy reuniting on a beautiful beach in Zihuatanejo, Mexico. It's a powerful and emotional conclusion, symbolizing freedom, friendship, and the triumph of the human spirit. The Shawshank Redemption is more than just a prison movie. It's a story about hope, the kind that keeps you going even when the odds are stacked against you. It's about friendship, resilience, and the idea that, no matter how dark things get, there's always a chance for redemption.